Okay, so I am here at Louisiana State University. I am about to meet all of the LSU beauty pageant contestants. They have asked me to come speak and give a little advice on confidence, self-esteem, and interview skills. So this should be good.
Well, is everybody really excited? Yeah? Why do some of you look like you broke your heels today, or what? You excited about the pageant? It's 2 weeks? Are you ready? Everybody's prepared. Everyone in here is unique, has a talent, has a skill, has something to say in an interview. Do you have your interview outfit already planned? Jewelry and all? Raise your hand if you do. Okay? How many of you have your evening gown knocked out? It's done. Swimsuit. Okay. Do you see what just happened? Every single one of you are prepared for your evening gown because you know that's really important, and you're prepared for your swimsuit, but there was only about 80% of you that are prepared for interview. Mistake. It's worth a third of your score. It is your first impression. Every single person that I have coached, and they will tell you that I'm pretty hard. I'm pretty tough when I coach you, because if you're looking for somebody just to hold your hand and go, oh, you're so pretty, you're gonna do so good, like your mom does, it's not me. Every single thing that you do in an interview for me and anybody else that's a judge, when you walk out on that stage, that third of that score is done. But you know what else happened? I'm waiting, because I saw her in an interview and then she stood out. So I'm excited. I'm waiting for her to walk out on stage in that swimsuit or evening gown. I'm telling you, you need to practice every single day. You have 2 weeks and not everybody is prepared for interview. You should be practicing every single day. And you need to interview yourself. You need to talk to yourself in your phone, stop it, rewind it. I guarantee you're gonna find something and go, oh my gosh, what was I doing with my head? There's panel interviews, which they do have in some competitions, but in this particular competition, they're gonna have individual judges that are gonna judge you. See, when you grab my hand, shake my hand. Mean it. There you go. Good job. I'm good. Wait a second. Let them ask you to sit down. Is it rude to toss a Xanax in somebody's mouth when they're talking? If you're sitting there, I'm like, I'm so excited. Yeah. They do it. They do it. I'm telling you, when you walk in and, hey, how are you doing? When you turn around, I'm going to ask you to sit down. The judge is going to ask you to have a seat. Sit down. See my legs? Can y'all see my legs? You can't stand up. Off to the side. That don't look good. You want to sit with your knees together. Ankles, as long as you're relaxed. You can keep your ankles just like this, or you can take that back leg and you can tuck it. Get comfortable. If you're not comfortable, do you see? You're going to be like this because you're going to be nervous. It's like if we were sitting down and having a conversation, I don't know, about what you're studying. The judge is going to be the first person that's going to say something to you. They're not going to just stare at you. I like your hair. They're not going to do that. They have already looked over your bio. So in the bio, you want to have something really interesting in there, because as I read over those, something would capture in that bio. So if you sat down in front of me and you said that you're a journalism major, that's going to pop out at you, right? So I probably will ask you, do you write right now? Do you write for the paper? What do you like to write about? Why did you choose that? So if you want that conversation to go on what you're comfortable talking about, direct that conversation. Compassion, leadership. Do you see those words that have emotion in them? I'm going to be really interested in mass communication. What do you want to do with mass communication? What do you want to do with that?
Currently, I'm working as a news reporter for
Excellent.
TV, and my focus is public relations. So
Okay.
I think I'd go in the direction with it.
All right, that's awesome. Now, if she wanted to keep talking about that, she could have taken what I just asked her. That way I can't ask her that. I would have said, oh, I see that you're studying mass communication. Tell me what you want to do with that. And she just told me. And I could have said, well, I'm an author. And she may have said, oh, that's awesome. That's not a conversation. You're an author? What do you write about? So now she's directed that interview into a conversation. Do not ramble. I mean, I'm sure, and you've heard of sound bites, talking in sound bites. Okay, so you can say just a little bit something. you can direct that conversation around however you want to direct it. If that judge says something about them, say they're a chef and you like to cook, and they say, oh, I see right here in writing you like to cook or you like to bake. Well, I'm a chef. Are you? Where are you a chef? They actually know how to talk to somebody. She's a little bit more than a pretty face. I can't wait to see what she's wearing tonight. I know there's people here that probably have a story. You probably have a background. I don't know, you may have come from divorced parents. You may have some disability in your family. Everybody has a platform. You may have some type of challenge in your life. You have a story. The best way to connect to someone is through their life story. Do you have a question?
Well, yes, I'm in a situation where I was asked a question about why I chose my platform in a different pageant. And we were having this great, upbeat, happy conversation, and I didn't want the energy to just tank and be like, oh, your mom has cancer? That's terrible, you know?
Right.
How do you manage kind of transitioning from like a happy, upbeat, hey, nice to meet you, to talking about something more serious without changing the energy to something that's not recoverable?
Very good question. Most of the conversations that I have when I talk to women in organizations and different associations, you guys are a little bit younger. Sometimes I talk to women that are more in their 40s and their 50s and some of those groups. Usually when they're your age, we're talking about confidence and self-esteem, which the title to my book is Strong Women, which you all are going to get by email. So you don't have to buy it, it's going to be free. Copyright still applies, don't print it off. But that's really good because when I'm having a conversation with these women, I have to bring up why I even do this. So why did I even get my certification in grief and empowerment? Why am I a business coach? Why do I do all these things to help women? Why do I even write? Because I'm a medical professional. You know, that's what I do in my full-time job. I say that. Now I balance them all at full-time. Because in 2007, my 17-year-old was killed in a car accident. Wow, we could have heard a pin drop. I take that and what I went through, which was really, really bad, and I take that adversity and what came from that. So how can I take that tragedy in my life and do something to help somebody else? Be real and make a conversation. Don't sit there and wait for that next question. You're gonna sink because they're gonna get harder. If you just short answer me, I'm gonna go, okay, well, what's your grade point average right now then? Do you want to talk about that?
How do you feel, or what's your standpoint of people, females or women who talk with their hands and during interview?
Excellent.
Yeah.
God, because I missed that point. So when you're sitting there and you're talking, you always want to use your hands. It's natural, right? You see how many times I've gone like this? The confidence in body language. And these are things that in this book, Strong Women, that I wrote, it's my third book, there is a lot in there with women of all ages. It's not, I mean, like a 14-year-old could read it and a 50-year-old and you're still going to get something out of it. I mean, I even talked to you in this book on what a genuine friend is. Read it. I talked to you about whether you're self-absorbed. And a lot of people read it and go, oh, I know somebody like that. And a lot of times, do you have an opinion about politics? No, you do not. Because if that judge is a die-hard Trump supporter and you're mad at Trump, you can really answer a question without really answering the question. So if the judge said, they're not, gosh, if somebody asked you if you voted for Trump or Hillary, I would die if they asked. That is an unfair question.
They're not going to ask you that.
They're not going to ask you that question. Yeah, see, they're not. But let's just say something weird happened. Are you pro-life or pro-choice? I have an opinion, but I don't think I'd be judged by that opinion in a beauty pageant, right? You say, well, you know, I can see both sides, and in everything, can't you really? I can see both sides of the spectrum. I have my personal views on that I keep to myself personally, and I live by those views, and I certainly don't judge anyone that has a different opinion. You're sitting there and somebody says, are you prepared? You could make a joke out of it. Well, I've got my checklist done, my dress is ready, and I check my teeth and there's nothing in it before I can see. I would think that was hilarious. Or tell me what your weakness is. My weakness in beauty pageants has always been the same one, and y'all can't all use it. I'm not going to tell you because I have the same weakness that I go, y'all are all cool. touched by that girl. But you could actually come up with something that's really not a weakness. Okay? It could just be something, I don't know, I'm really bad about trying to circle the parking lot 5 or 6 times to get a front row. I gotta work on that because it's good exercise. I should walk from the 5th row. So you kind of make a joke about it, and that's not really a weakness, but you kind of answered the question, and now oh, I know, don't you hate that? And then we're just moving on. But I never park in handicap. We all have a brand. It's our personality. And as you get older and you get into business, if you go into business for yourself, you develop a brand, and people know you by that brand. Well, it's the same thing when you're younger and you're growing up. Your brand, your personal brand, is your personality. Oh, I know her. She's hilarious. She's so sweet. She helps people all the time. She does this. Oh, I know her. She's not very nice, and she's always drunk at that bar up there in the corner, right? All the ladies. Reputation, branding, personality, okay? But in an interview, you only have just a few minutes for all of that to shine through. When I help my individual girls, I say, bring me your evening gown, bring me your swimsuit, and bring me your 2 choices for interview. And if you do not have a backup interview dress, you are messing up. Because if you go to put on a dress and you go bend over and you pop the zipper out of the butt of that skirt or your dress, what you gonna do? Do you have a backup plan? In your manners, you want to be very professional. You want to show a little bit of humor. You want to show your personality side, but this is a serious job, okay? So how do you act in a serious job interview? You just chilling? Are you just chilling? No, you're not just chilling. You're serious, but you also want to talk about what's passionate about you. I mean, we're all here for a purpose, right? So what is your purpose? Let's talk about it. I mean, you can get deep with the judge. You can tell how deep they're going to go. And if they're not going to go so deep, then don't go there. Have a conversation. Question?
How do you feel about hair after interview?
Hair? Okay, that's a good question. How are you going to wear your hair that night?
I'm not sure yet. I'm worried about wearing up for.
Have you practiced? You have put your hair up and put your hair down? Oh, I'm impressed. Do you want me to see you in a different light, or do you want me just to see you the same way all the way through the pageant?
I would say the same, so I remember you.
I'm going to remember you by what you did in an interview. Don't worry about that. I'm going to remember what you said, more than I'm going to remember what your hair looked like.
Okay.
That doesn't mean your hair has to look bad. If your hair looks bad, I'm going to remember that too. But I'm going to remember what you talked about in interview. Now, if it's a lot of trouble to put your hair up and then put your hair down, and where do you feel more comfortable? Where do you feel prettier? Where are you more confident? If it's wearing your hair down and having it, like, my hair can get big, man. I'm telling you, I can make, like, it's flat. I can make it big. And I can make it like hers. Are you a strong woman or are you not? Are you confident about being, this is Miss LSU. Are you confident about this pageant? If you're confident, shake my hand like you are.
Do you shake your hand when you greet them and when you leave?
When you
or just when you greet them?
Always when you greet them and when you leave. Questions? Got a few more. They're gonna make me leave.
So for shoes, I know like traditionally they say like closed-toed, low heel is the most professional, but what do you think about something like a
Okay.
higher heel?
Or like wedges or something.
Wedges for what? For an interview?
For wedges.
Absolutely not. No. Lord have mercy, you need to call me. You need to be one of those first 5, 6 people.
So how do you think it's too high? I'm sorry.
No.
She's like, can I text you a picture of my shoe?
It's not that it's too high or too short.
Okay, so that was fun. I hope you guys could hear it pretty good. They had some really good questions. This is going to be a tough beauty pageant. Miss LSU pageant is March 26th in the Union at 6 o'clock. I hope you can come out. Also, if you like the channel, subscribe below, step into your purpose. I have amazing interviews with some fantastic people. I'll be more than happy to help you. You can leave the comments below, or you can go to my website, www.sherryricard.com. You'll see it below. Go to the contacts tab and just leave me a message, and I'll be glad to talk to you, help you any way I can. Until next time, God bless. Subscribe below. Don't forget, have a beautiful day.